Destroy Flagler County, and will people be held responsible? This Saturday, 94.9 and 1550 AM, WNZF, Live, Shop, and Play. Hello, Flagler County. This is Joe Mullins, and good morning. It is great to have you here, and I want to thank you. I know you got a lot of options, and I know you are choosing me, and I appreciate it. And today's show on Live, Shop, and Play is Live, Shop, Play, and Destroy Flagler County. The backdoor deals, are they over yet? What else is coming out? And will people be held accountable? This is Joe Mullins, the Live, Shop, and Play show. You're going to get ready for this one. And today I also have a special guest. I've got Pastor Jay from the Pastor Jay Show. She's here with me. Good morning, Pastor Jay.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's good to have you here.
I don't know if I want to be on this show.
Oh, it's going to be.
There's a lot of destruction going on, I don't know.
It really is. I tell you, but there's this stuff that the community has wanted. You know, one thing you got to understand is the community wants this stuff to come out. They want transparency. They voted for me, and I campaigned on promising that I would clean out the house. I would clean the swamp here. I would go in and I would identify the problems. I'd be transparent, and we would solve them, and we'd work on solving.
There was you held a business town hall meeting recently in the city of Bunnell, and someone after the town hall posed a question. Well, not necessarily a question, but they made a statement to me that you are overturning the rocks and the stones, and you're looking under every crevice and exposing so much stuff here in the county. What else could there be?
Well, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a county manager that's a former police chief.
Oh, wow.
He really digs in and looks into it. But, you know, here's some of the things we're going to talk about today. Number one, Plantation Bay. How did we get there? Number two, the tourism department. How did we get there? And we've got to be very careful with that one because that one's got some open litigation and some issues. So that kind of tells you right there. And then you've got the sheriff's department, the sheriff's ops center, that debacle. You've got the SunTrust or the Wachovia Bank building. And then you've got the new latest thing, the Sears building. And what bothers me with the Sears building is I caught the tail end of that, and obviously it was a 4-1 vote to finance it, to go and approve the financing after it was already approved to purchase it. My stance was to walk away from the deal, do not do it, and the whole reasoning, I didn't know. Everybody goes, Joe, did you know there was mold in there? You must have knew there was mold. I didn't know there was mold in there. I just don't feel comfortable doing anything that was prior to this, to my getting in office, because they just were not transparent.
Did you know that the building was being handled by the same people as the...
No, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I didn't. So, we didn't know it until we started doing the research. So let's start on the Sears building and we'll go backwards. So the Sears building, the realtor was Parkside Realty, and Margaret Jones. I know Margaret. She's a great person, but Margaret Jones. Her husband, from what I understand, was very good friends with the county administrator, and he brought up the building, or they brought up the building to him. We weren't even looking actively for a building. They brought up the building, and then next thing I know, the research has uncovered that there were a lot of decisions made to purchase the building before it ever went to commission. This building didn't go to commission till the night before I took office. It was already decided to buy, and in the process before that. How do you do that when you don't go to commission?
How do you do that?
Sunshine violations. You got to violate sunshine. You got a commissioner running around polling everybody, talking it and selling it. And I heard continuously that the guy I beat did that. And this is not me coming out and saying it. This is just people coming out and saying this is what occurred. And other commissioners had verified it and said, oh, there was a lot of that. We had to stop him in mid-sentence with stuff because he would go around and talk about it. But they had an MO, and we're seeing it take out in the public.
But why? Well, who's benefiting from this?
That's the good question.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who benefits from all of this? There's got to be money involved.
Exactly.
Or some kind of trade or something. You know, are we getting into that type of investigation?
It's funny you say that, because that's what the county manager said. When you see things like that, usually follows there's someone that involved in fraud, because you don't take these risks without some kind of reward. And we're on it, and we're going to find out. And if the public directs me to stop, the only people telling me to stop has been about 3 people, and they're avid.
3 people?
It's been 3 people, and they go, he would never do anything like that. He would never do it. And I'm going, guys, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm just finding it and bringing it out to the public. So part of the problem that we have with the Sears building, the inspection company was the same. It was a universal inspection. They did the inspection. They were not advised to do mold. We went back to them and told them to check it for the mold. They did, and they said it wasn't there. So they're now accountable. The realtor is supposed to disclose all that and make sure that the seller discloses it. This is what I'm saying. The place puddled in the middle of the floor. How do you not know that it's doing that when you're in business? You can't hide water. Water's going to find its way out. You can't hide this kind of water. So they knew there was a leak in there, and it was verified that they knew it, and they just did not disclose it. Then you've got the buildup of it, and you've got the purchase of a building. You're taking a building off the tax roll, which is something I don't believe in. You build, you do not go out and take businesses off the street and do that. Your government just doesn't need to do that. So they took that off. So this is the same realtor that sold the bank building over on Old Kings. It's the same inspection company that inspected that building, and they found mold and issues over there after the purchase, not before, after. And I tell you, I've bought over 1,000 properties. One thing that we do is we go check for mold, number one, and then we want an environmental and a due diligence on everything before we buy it. I'm in the middle of a big sale right now, and they did a very thorough due diligence, and I've got to go back to the negotiating table because they found some things that they're concerned with. You watch that when it's your money. Well, guess what? My job as the county commissioner is to watch that for the county.
This is
the public's money. This is what they bought it with.
Do we have any money? I mean, we're talking about building other...
Let me finish. So we're now on the bank building. So the bank building was bought by the same realtor, is inspected by the same inspection company. Then we're going to go back to the sheriff's op center, same realtor, same inspection company that's been inspecting it. Now, I don't know if they inspected it initially, but I know that I've heard enough that we were told and warned. And when you walk up to an old building that's been sitting empty for that many years, that has animals inside of it and bats and stuff, you know you're going to have to do a thorough cleaning with it. But what we've uncovered so far is that all three deals were brought by the same person and inspected by the same inspection company. And they were brought, they're properties that had, we call them hair on the deals, where you have to specially trim them and look at them. And they had issues where a general public would not have bought it. Like me as a private person, I wouldn't have bought it without having all these things fixed or resolved or done, remediated. So they go to a government, they work a deal, they buy it, and they overpay for it. Now, where did money go? I don't know that yet. We are going to find that out. We are going to look into it. But as a commissioner, they're supposed to be making sure that these are thoroughly vetted and looked into before our money, your money, my money, the rest of these listeners' money is invested into these projects. And we're not talking thousands of dollars. We're talking millions and millions. We're talking $20-30 million here that has been invested with all these projects. So we're on the sheriff's op center. They were told it was a bad building, that it needed to be torn down, and they had to have three other options. I was told, and what we're seeing so far is they made this option look the best by cutting corners and saying, okay, we don't have to do that, we don't have to do this, the inspection company said we didn't have to do that. So you're manipulating the inspection, and which is wrong. That's not why you do an inspection. They're manipulating it. So now all of a sudden, this has been done. They're going out, they're cutting corners, they're making it work. Why? To make
That's
that
my
realtor,
question. Why?
To make that, let me ask you
Why?
something too.
How?
PJ, how many realtors do we have in Flagler County?
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
we have a lot?
Yes.
There's a ton of them.
I know almost everybody I know.
The same realtor, the same person that sold every piece of property. I mean, this doesn't make sense.
Well, it kind of makes sense a little bit if you're used to working with one particular realtor. Because
the county can't do that. The county's open to where we have to be open to working with everyone. We can't just have our favorites. We have to go out and take bids. We have to go out and look. But
did they do that?
But the former administrator and this guy were best friends. He came up, if you remember the last day, he came up and defended the administrator and said that he thought he should be there. Larry Jones did. And we're not talking about the police, Larry Jones. He's a great guy.
Clarify that.
I like him. We're talking about another individual. I've never met him, but he came out and defended him. So you got this guy that we're starting. The funny thing is as we unveil this, people are starting to talk, and more is being said about commissioners being involved in the deal and running around. And it's just a matter of time before the money. We're trailing.
When you say commissioners, that's with an S. Is there more than one?
I think there is. I think there's going to be more than one. I think we have one that was consistent in it, that's no longer in office as of when I took office.
You think some of your current commissioners may have been involved?
I don't know that yet. I don't know that. I think that they've been involved in the sunshine. I think that they've been involved in being told stuff, and that needs to be. I don't think that some of them have. I think some of the older ones in there had to know this. They couldn't have not known. And here's the thing: if they didn't know, then shame on them, because it's their job to know.
Is any of this stuff criminal?
If we find money, yes. And if you find an intent to deceive and fraud, yes, it is. And that's what we're looking at right now.
Wow.
We are looking deep in it. So you've got the Sheriff's Ops Center, and the Sheriff's Ops Center has caused so many problems. It's called health. Here's the biggest one. It's called over 30 people to have health issues that are good people. It's caused us now to have a $10 million building that was only used for 3 years. Now we've got to find another building. It's created so many problems. You talk about the homeless we did on your show, which airs tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great show.
That was a good show.
It's caused so many problems to reciprocate, and now I've gotten in office and we're out here trying to resolve them. And some of the other commissioners don't want me doing this. I've had one say, we don't need to do investigations. We just need to move ahead, and we don't need to do anything like that. And I said, it was nice for you to finally wake up and say something. I'm glad you did. But at the end of the day, this public has a right to know where their tax dollars went.
You are mighty bold. I know this is your show, Live, Shop, and Play, and I appreciate you coming on my show today with Pastor Jay, which airs on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. But you're bold. You're bold
I'm
about...
going to call it like I see it. I'm going to call it like I see it. And I'm not going to coat this thing. It's bad. PJ, if you gave me $100,000 and you asked me to go ahead of you and buy something for you, you gave me $50,000 and you asked me to go buy a car for you.
If you talk about me giving you money, you may have to go like if I gave you $5. I mean, make it more realistic for the listeners.
If you gave me $20,000 and said, Joe, go out and buy me a good truck,
right?
And I want you to do it, and I went out and bought you one, and the motor was bad. Have I deceived our friendship? Have I deceived my contractual relationship with you? And that's what's happened here.
If you knowingly bought it back.
If I knowingly went out and did it.
If you knowingly did it back.
Let me go another step more.
I think that's where it goes.
Let me say I gave the guy $20,000. He gave me $5,000 back, and you turned around and
listen, you going to jail.
Yeah, exactly. And that is,
that's what we possibly may be dealing with.
We are looking into all of it right now.
So how do you look into that? You get the FBI involved? How do you trace and track money?
The attorney's engaged it with the Sears building to update everybody. The attorney, we are demanding the money back and them to take the building back, and we will win that because either the inspection company is going to buy that building, the realtor. Everybody keeps going, why is the realtor involved? The realtor's job is to make sure that everything is disclosed in there and that they are doing due diligence. And the realtor represented the seller, not the buyer. And now all of a sudden we didn't have a realtor on our side. So this realtor is the common person on both sides in all three deals.
Which brings me to ask you this question. Can we tie them all together and demand all the money back? We are
looking into that, and I think personally as a commissioner...
I mean, if it was one...
I think that's probably why some commissioners don't want it to go back, and some former commissioners don't want it to go back. They're like, Joe's crazy. I have people think I have this vendetta against Nate McGraw. I could care less what Nate's doing.
Well, you do talk about him a lot.
He can do whatever ribbon cutting. I talk about him because I hear him talk about my kids, talking about that I have indecently touched them. That's unacceptable. I'm not going to play around when it comes to my family. He's attacked the mayor. He said the mayor is having all these questionable relationships, which is untrue. And at the end of the day, attack policy. Don't attack a person when we're serving. And the mayor's done a great job out there serving. And I've worked my butt off for this county. You do not go out and attack. And you saw in my campaign, I've never attacked him personally. You saw on firsthand.
You keep saying you, as in me, but I do have to ask this question because you called one of your fellow commissioners sleepy. He said he sleep all the time.
Sleepy.
I'd say that's a personal attack.
It's the five dwarfs. We got the five dwarfs. We got Sleepy. We got Grumpy. No, we got some great guys up there. But there are some guys, and we need strong candidates in 2020 because these guys are going to come in and help. We need more people like me that are going to come in there and really work. I don't
think we need any more like you. We only can handle one of you.
Now, I ask you this. You don't want more people in there representing and listening to the people.
Absolutely.
And that's what I do. If you think about it, I go out and I listen to the community. I don't do these town halls because I like to have them. They're very strenuous when you've spent a full day. And this part-time job has become full-time for me because I read an email today and they said, we wish we had other commissioners like you. We wish they'd come in and help. They come in and say they need to see more transparency in the deals and they need to see more things done. And this is important for this community because you know what? These dollars we earn are very hard-earned tax dollars. These people are blood, sweat, and tears are going behind them. And I'm not going to let anybody cheat my company. And I've had people try to do it. I've had people try to misbill things. I've had people try to do certain things bad, and they can say whatever they want to, but at the end of the day, we put them out, and I'm not going to let them do it to the county. They're not going to do it to the citizens. So that now we get off of the Sheriff's Ops Center, and let's go to tourism and development.
Okay.
There is a lot of stuff looking into there that I can't talk much about it, but I can say that it's not going to end well.
What's going on with that?
I can't say because it's an open investigation.
You got okay. So we're going to look into tourism, but we can't talk about it.
I'll ask you, who chairs the tourism? Who chairs the tourism?
Who does?
And Greg Hansen, and he chaired it last year. And my comment to him is you need to watch this more and keep an eye on these things. I was told that I shouldn't even look into this stuff. I was told in everything I shouldn't look into it. I've looked into it, and look what I found.
I can tell you, just from my personal experience of being new involved in some of the organizations within the county, most of it, people just say, this is the way that it's been, let's just going to continue and let it go that way. Most people don't dig and look the way that you're digging and looking.
Well,
have you noticed that as well? They're just like,
look at our president, what he's doing to the country and what he's doing. He's not a politician. He's running it like a business, and we're seeing incredible profits right now. So the reason is we have to do things like this. And we've got to turn around and make things happen like this. It is very important that we run this county as close to a business as we can. You can never run it identical to one. Now I'm going to go into some other facts here. We're going to go into something even deeper, the Plantation Bay water. This is something that we have vested in.
I saw some of those pictures. And I even found out that...
I want to read something to you. This was in part of our investigation.
That the people that work over there didn't have a bathroom to use.
They didn't.
That they had to go down the street to use the restroom.
Now, I like to work
what kind of foolishness is that?
I like to work my workers hard, but I give them a bathroom.
Yeah.
And I give them lunch breaks.
They don't have a bathroom, nor do they have running water.
On June 11th, and this is facts that we've unveiled on the Plantation Bay water. On June 11th, county officials asked the Florida Government Utilities Authority to assess Plantation Bay utility in accordance with the DRA of Flagler County Comprehensive Plan. Through the Florida Public Service Commission's Council, residents defeated a rate increase raised by ICI because it was deferring maintenance to the system and taking too much profit. So ICI owned it. They were taking way too much profit. That was in June 11th, and the residents won. In December 2011, the county got involved. The Government Utilities Authority produced a report that listed significant owner liabilities, occupational and safety hazards, and violations. The authority estimated that $3.9 million in improvements were needed. The authority noted that the problems existed because ICI deferred maintenance of the system. The FGUA recommended to the county that no more than $1 million be offered for this utility plant. $1 million. Now, this was because we could have come in and eminently domained this. Our county attorney fought it. The manager at the time, I'll read this is January 2013. The Flagler County Board of County Commissioners reached consensus from County Administrator Craig Coffey to create a partnership with the City of Bunnell to acquire Plantation Bay utility system from the owner. Mm-hmm. County Attorney Al Hadid addressed the DRI signed in 1985, Flagler County, a strong case under DI development in the state of Florida. He pointed out that under the DRI, the county would not be liable for acquisition expenses for condemnation fees and recommended condemnation. Coffey later, sales price was $5.5 million is what they paid for this water plant, that they were told that in 2011 not to pay more than $1 million. They signed it. There was a comprehensive plan that was done in 2011 that they would never purchase the Plantation Bay water utilities. In our County, in our county strategic plan, they stated they'd never purchase this water plant, and they did.
Why do you think they did? I don't know if you recall, I had former Sheriff Manfrey on my show last year. Mm-hmm. And he called out a lot of stuff, talking about there were people within the community that were some of our elected officials and some that were hired here. They were doing some things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
he was one of the ones that told me a lot of this.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. And I know your show was going to air, and a lot of people said don't air it, and administrator got upset about it, and you got a little nervous. I think you should air it. But
well, I didn't air it. I aired part of the show. The reason why I didn't add the second show is because it was worse than the first. But I did upload it on YouTube. So those that want to watch it, you can go on YouTube and watch it. But my show is called Today with Pastor Jay. And I had a difficult time airing a show that someone else was sitting beside me and was talking. He made personal attacks against other people within the community, mm-hmm. and called them names. And I just didn't feel comfortable having a show like that and then go, this is Today with Pastor Jay. Mm-hmm. Because that's not what I'm about. Because even when we discuss challenging things, we have to be able to put a positive spin on it. And I couldn't put a positive spin. I mean, he just kept, and plus he was broken, and he was hurt. And he spoke from a place of hurt. But I did, I was 2 shows. I aired one of them. The second one you can watch on my YouTube if you go onto YouTube, and you can watch it. And a lot of people have gone to watch it. And I've sent it to a few people that have requested the show. But yeah, he said a lot of stuff. I had no idea what was going on within the county. And there was no way to verify it. And he called some of our elected officials racist. And I didn't want to get into that.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
get into that stuff. What I'm getting into is the facts that we're seeing so far. It's
right.
The same people involved, the same commissioners, the same people that were all tied into it, the same MO of purchasing it. We've overpaid for an asset. The asset wasn't properly checked. We were advised not to buy it, and we bought it anyway because it was residents of the county money. If I own this county, which the residents of this county own this county, the residents of this county I am the voice for, and I will be a voice for. I'm not up there to make 4 other guys happy, although Donald O'Brien, chairman, I love him. He's a great guy. He's wonderful for this position. David Sullivan, credible guy. He cares about this community, 100% into it. Those 2 guys I love serving with. I have no problem with the other 2. I think they're great guys, but at the end of the day, their style's a little different from mine, and I can guarantee you.
Is it because they don't agree with you that you have an issue?
I don't think they're well, I mean, Hanson said yesterday that there was no sick building. I think 30-something employees say there is. And
when did he say this?
He said that at the commission meeting. Wow. And I don't know why that's that important for him. He didn't vote to buy it, but he's defending it like he did. And I'm curious to why he's defending it so much. I'm not up there, like I said, I'm not up there to be friends with him. I'm up there to make this county move and be transparent to this community. And I'm going to be. And at the end of the day, I like them. They're nice guys. But if they're not there with the best interests of this community, I'm going to call it out. And that's what our president's doing. That's what we love about him. He's calling all these career politicians out and getting them out of there. And we need to get them out of there because at the end of the day, it's hurting us as citizens.
Would you consider yourself a politician?
No, not at all. I don't want to be one. I don't want to tell you what you want to hear and then do something different. That's not what I want to do. And I love it when somebody comes up and says, "Well, in 4 years, if you want my vote again," I didn't run to get a person's vote again. I ran to do something today. And if you be a critic with it, are things happening in the county now?
Strange things are happening in the county. Things are happening. Things are happening. A lot of people are talking. What I really love about what's happening, people are engaged. Right. They are engaged. They're voicing their opinions. They're coming out, whether one way or another, and that's good. And there have been several things that's been overlooked. I really don't understand it.
Right. With me, when people have a problem, guess who they call?
They call you.
They call me.
Because you're going to go. And not only are you going to go investigate, you're going to take your phone with you and take pictures.
I also have them come out and say to me, "Joe, I love living in Flagler County again. I'm proud of being here again. We've got industry looking at us for the first time in decades. We're about to see some breakthrough in that town center that's going to shock everyone."
Are you tired? I mean, you're having town hall meeting. You've been all over the county.
Yet.
You've been everywhere. There's more town hall meetings. I'm going,
You know
what
what?
in the world are these
off-
town hall meetings
I
coming
feed
from?
off the energy of the public, and the public is where I feed off. You know, when you look at our mayor, when you look at Don O'Brien, when you look at Paul Renner, when you look at Travis Hudson, when you look at Dave Sullivan, when you look at some of the commissioners with the cities, when you look at Mayor Robinson, these people are passionate. And Mayor Robinson, head to head, stood up with me with that sheriff's ops center. She let me explain everything. She became satisfied with it. But I got to give her a lot of respect. She didn't care who I was. She didn't care how many people were behind me.
It would have been nice if you had voted against it. It would have passed anyway.
I'm not going to do that.
But you know, because that was your district, you know, and I've heard that from a lot of people.
I understand.
I heard a lot. I heard that from a lot of people.
But
See,
here was the options.
You're not sticking up for us.
Well, here's the options of why I did. They want it there until you talk about the tax increase it's going to involve to build the new building. Palm Coast already had it in the budget. So we're taking advantage of what they were already going to do. They were going to do a district office. If I would have done it in Bunnell, if I would have pushed for it, which I did at first, they said taxes would have to increase substantially because we just spent this money 3 years ago. We're building a new building because of the fraud that was involved in the purchase of the original building. So if I hadn't have stayed my ground on it and voted the way I did, we would have seen a huge tax increase. And the majority of the residents said, we don't want that. We will get another Bunnell one. We're already working on that, and I'm rallying for that strong, and it's going to be a beautiful one. But at the end of the day, I am focused on bringing jobs to this community, and that's my primary thing, bringing the balance in housing. That's the primary thing. So I will not vote one way in public and be another behind. That's the career politician. You're going to know where Joe Mullins stands. You may not like it, but you're going to know where I stand.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you taking time with me, because when I have a concern, I call you up.
And I tell you my true feelings, and then you'll rebuttal it, and then we'll come to a compromise, and we'll move on. Just like the homeless. You know, we realized we were talking about two things passionately. I'm talking about camps. You're talking about people that are homelessness. And you have a very valid point. My point is addressing the camps.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we want to help people. We don't want people just stuck out and forgotten about.
And we need to take care of that.
And I do want to say this. We've got a great town hall coming up on, let me see the time it's coming up. This is going to be a wonderful town hall. It's at the African American Cultural Center. And it's June 20th at 6 o'clock. We're doing a town hall meeting. And it's going to be an opportunity for people to come out and speak, and that's my next one. Then I've got one at Hall Creek. Hall Creek's very concerned about the roundabout. That one's coming up in June, and we're going to be doing that the first week of June, I think June 6th at Hall Creek. We got the FDOT out there, and I said, let's just get everybody at the table and see what the solution is. That's the way you solve things. And I loved what you said when you challenged the churches and everybody. Don't complain about homelessness. Don't run your own program. Get at this table and let's have a county-wide solution. Let's care about these people. Let's do something about it. Let's not bury another guy like we had to do last week.
Well, let me clarify. I didn't tell them not to do it. I just told them to come to the table. But, you know, listen to my show tomorrow. It airs at 8 a.m. on WNZF. I'm interviewing Commissioner Joe Mullins. We're talking about the homeless situation. I took a bunch of questions from those in the community, and I hammered you pretty good. You came out pretty good.
Well, and I want to say this about the backdoor deals. Will people be held responsible? Absolutely. These past commissioners had a pledge and a responsibility to represent this community. They don't need to be in public office ever again, and they need to be accountable for their actions. Management needs to be accountable for their actions. Anyone that does anything wrongdoing needs to be accountable when they affect and hurt someone else.
All right, I gotta go because I've got another meeting.
We're gonna push this through, and we're gonna see, but